In American politics, unconventional candidates often emerge as captivating figures who challenge the status quo. One such figure is Vivek Ramaswamy, a man whose transition from the biotech industry / hedge fund world to that of politics has raised eyebrows and garnered attention. After the tech world went nuts over Robert Kennedy all summer, it appears that they're now all fawning over Vivek. Case in point, an unexpected endorsement from Elon Musk. Vivek has climbed in the polls. He now sits in third place in the GOP race, right behind Trump and DeSantis, surpassing well-known politicians like Mike Pence and Chris Christie. He's a rich 38-year-old who has some hair on his background. In a nutshell, here's what the naysayers will tell you. He took money to pay for law school from the George Soros Foundation, despite already having earned millions in the finance world. He funded Martin Shkreli, who famously bought the IP to a potentially life-saving drug and then raised the price by 5,000%. He ran a questionable $2 billion stock IPO for an Alzheimer drug that had already failed certification 4 times, and he is also taking aim against the same immigration rules his family once benefited from. Vivek finds himself in various lawsuits, at least one of which he's attempting to dodge, claiming that his time is just too light to take on a lawsuit given his bid to become president. As a political figure, he is a Trump supporter with some radical ideas. These include canceling the FBI, canceling the Department of Education, and canceling the IRS. But like him or not, he is one of the hot flavors of the month. So today, we're going to take some time to learn about his story and why he's making headlines. Also, we'll examine whether he can really make a dent in the political landscape over the long haul. Let's dive in. Vivek Ramaswamy was born in Cincinnati to Indian immigrant parents. He excelled in tennis and became his high school's valedictorian.
I've been racing my entire high school career.
Later, he graduated with top honors from Harvard in biology and earned a JD from Yale Law School. He joined the hedge fund QVT Financial from 2007 to 2014, where he managed the firm's biotech investments. These included stakes in companies like Paladin Technologies, Concert Pharmaceuticals, Farm Asset, and the aforementioned Martin Shkreli's Retrofin. During his academic journey, Ramaswamy was awarded a postgraduate fellowship by the Paul and Daisy Soros Fellowships for New Americans, which he utilized to attend Yale Law School. Despite receiving the funding, Ramaswamy reportedly later paid a Wikipedia editor to remove mention of it, in an attempt to cover up the grant.
Anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action. In a party that hates the Soros name, yet you accepted a Paul and Daisy Soros.
It's not unfair to assume he was distancing himself from any association with George Soros, which, if you're unaware, Soros is a controversial and prominent billionaire known for his political donations and influence on global geopolitics. Okay, so let's go back to Vivek. Following his stint at the hedge fund, Ramaswamy ventured into the world of biotechnology by founding Roivant Sciences in 2014. Roivant's unique strategy involved acquiring patents from larger pharmaceutical companies for drugs that hadn't yet reached the market and bringing them to fruition. One of the most eyebrow-raising chapters in Ramaswamy's business journey was his involvement with Axovant Sciences in 2015, which was a subsidiary founded by Roivant. With Axovant, Vivek managed to raise a staggering $360 million to market intepirdine as an Alzheimer's disease drug,
involving the developer of the most widely used drug to treat Alzheimer's disease.
What made this even more remarkable was that Axovant had acquired the drug for a mere $5 million from GlaxoSmithKline, where it had previously failed in 4 clinical trials. But even more intriguing was the involvement of Dr. Geetha Ramaswamy, who happens to be Vivek's mother. Shortly after acquiring intepirdine, Axovant conducted a new phase 2 trial for the drug. This trial involved 684 subjects and claimed to demonstrate sufficient improvement to support phase 3 trials. With Dr. Geetha Ramaswamy as the principal investigator of the study, she played a critical role in conducting and overseeing the trial. And with the trials ongoing, Axovant's IPO, engineered by Vivek, initially soared, with the company's market value reaching almost $3 billion. However, the success proved to be short-lived, as the stock plummeted by 75% following the failure of the phase 3 trials. Subsequent disappointments led to a 99% loss in value and a rebranding for the company.
Why would GlaxoSmithKline sell it for just $5 million when they could make billions? Well, it's because they had pretty much given up on the drug after it failed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 clinical trials.
Intriguingly, Ramaswamy funded his political campaign by selling over $32 million in Roivant stock options, signaling a thriving business. However, Roivant reported massive losses of $1.2 billion in March of 2023. Vivek's also been outspoken about ESG mandates, which, if you're unfamiliar, stand for environmental, social, and governance principles. This is despite major ESG champions like Morgan Stanley, Viking Global, and BlackRock among Roivant's largest shareholders.
U.S. energy companies can actually capture that opportunity, but they can only do it if they are liberated from these ESG mandates.
Now, as you'd probably expect, Ramaswamy is facing lawsuits over his actions in the biotech sector. And he's argued in court that his presidential campaign should excuse him from partaking in the lawsuits at this time. He's quoted as saying, "As a candidate for president of the United States, I must frequently travel across the United States to campaign, make speeches, give media interviews, and meet with voters. Consequently, I am often away from home, and when I am at home, it is often not until late in the evening after a full campaign day." So how did he get into politics in the first place? Well, his political journey began with a bang when he announced his candidacy in a Wall Street Journal opinion essay, a platform not traditionally associated with political campaign launches. This unorthodox start set the tone for what was to come. He further caught the public's attention by actively engaging with organizations like the NRA and making numerous appearances in the media.
But I came here to be with you in person. Actually.
But what makes Ramaswamy's journey even more intriguing is his alignment with former President Donald Trump. Vivek openly considers Trump a friend and believes that they share a deep mutual respect, adding an extra layer of intrigue to his candidacy. Furthermore, Ramaswamy's political views closely align with those of another prominent figure in the anti-woke movement, Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis, who ranks second behind Trump at the polls, shares many positions with Ramaswamy, making them formidable voices in this ideological space. And then on February 21st, Ramaswamy officially made his declaration for his candidacy for the Republican presidential nomination on Tucker Carlson Tonight. He released 20 years of his individual income tax returns, emphasizing his reliance on personal fortune for campaign funding.
And that's why I'm proud to say tonight that I am running for United States president to revive those.
During his campaign, Ramaswamy has sought to appeal to the evangelical Christian right and Christian nationalist voters, despite being Hindu himself. He has criticized secularism and emphasized shared Christian values.
One true God in many forms. So that's different, and I understand that.
Ramaswamy's political positions cover a wide spectrum, from his support for Trump to his promise to pardon figures like Julian Assange, Ross Ulbricht, and Edward Snowden if elected. He opposes affirmative action, labels abortion as murder, and criticizes the LGBTQ movement as a cult. In some ways, I'd almost describe his political position as that of an anarchist.
Assange, Snowden, we go down the list.
I am unapologetically pro-life.
His proposed policies include firing 75% of federal employees, abolishing the Department of Education, and dismantling the IRS. He aims to repeal laws requiring presidents to spend all allocated money, favors raising the standard voting age to 25, and has expressed support for ending birthright citizenship. Ramaswamy has also voiced opinions on international affairs, favoring concessions to Russia in the Ukrainian invasion, and supporting Taiwanese independence. His views on climate change have been controversial. He's claimed that the climate change agenda is a hoax, and he's criticized the climate cult and vowed to abandon carbon-related measures.
The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax.
In the making of this video, I must have watched over 20 interviews with Vivek, and I gotta say, it's unbelievable how poor he is at directly answering questions. He constantly responds with whataboutisms or completely dodges the topic at hand. It's hard to think of a better word to describe his tactics than just annoying.
Of all the descriptors attached to Vivek Ramaswamy, the 38-year-old political tyro enjoying a bizarre surge in the Republican primary race for second place, the most common one seems to be annoying.
Of course, it's politics, and if politicians were honest and direct at all times, they'd never get elected. But make no mistake, Vivek is not just any politician. He is your standard fast-talking finance guy. I know the type. He learned his sales tactics from the country's top sociopaths. You know the type. 1 minute they've sold you on buying shares in their SPAC that's going to revolutionize some part of the world, and then 2 months later you find out that they owned sponsor shares that they paid a penny for, and they sold them all while they were telling you to buy the stock north of $10. Now you're down a cool 95%, and they were like, whatever, I'm in the arena of trying new stuff. The thing about people who make their money on Wall Street and make it fast is that they are typically the best at sociopathy. Let me give you a specific example. Vivek funded Martin Shkreli, who might be the poster boy for getting rich while fucking over other people. And Vivek didn't just fund him. Shkreli says that Ramaswamy was at one point his biggest investor and a friend. This relationship is probably all you need to know about the guy. When it comes to American interests, you have to ask yourself, who will Vivek put first if he was the president? America or Vivek? Now, I suspect his political career is going to be short-lived, but if I'm wrong and he moves forward in his political career after this run, be ready for flip-flops. Lots and lots of flip-flops, and incoherent, fast-talking dodging whenever he gets called out on his flip-flops. Right now, he's saying whatever it takes to get ahead. He's a smart guy and a great salesman. He knows what works, and he is going to work what he knows, but just don't expect any position he takes to be gospel, because Vivek's stance on things will be just like an overpriced biotech stock, where the smart money is out at the top, while the believers are left holding the bag and asking, wait, what happened to everything I was promised? So guys, we just recently launched this channel and we noticed that 99.9% of our viewers are not subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video, we need your help in growing this channel. By subscribing, that would help us keep the lights on and make sure that our crews have jobs in these uncertain times. So please hit that subscribe button, and we promise to make more quality videos that I'm sure you're gonna love.